Hey guys, this is Effervescent Whispers ASMR. I hope you're all doing amazing well. First of all, happy 2018, happy new year. I hope 2018 is treating you very well so far, that you have an amazing year. I am aware it's been a while since I've done a video. And before I kick off this video, which is going to be my 2018 films I'm most excited to see. Last year, I was in the middle of my postgraduate work, and I'm still working on it now, in terms of I've only just kicked off kind of the thesis part of my masters. Hopefully though that should be done by the summer, so I can hopefully, touch wood, start doing more regular videos and start doing more role plays and tags and all kinds of little odds and ends, because I adore doing this. I love ASMR. It's been such a boon to me. It's really improved my sleep and my mental health, and just been kind of immeasurably important to me. So any little way I can give back and help other people sleep, then I'll be more than happy to do that. I'll talk a little bit about stuff I have coming up at the end of the video, but I am going to give a very quick run through of the movies in 2018 that I am most excited to see. I'm aware the one I did for 2017 was not only late in terms of I recorded it mid-January, same time I'm recording this one, but I didn't release it until a few weeks later. So there were some films I said I'm looking forward to this, and they had already come out. So hopefully I'll be able to turn this one around fairly quickly. So when I record this, it should only be a day or two until I get it up online, which shouldn't affect it too much. Anyway, enough rambling. So, as I said, I'm recording this mid-January. So the film's already been out that I quite like the look of, in all honesty. So the first film to come out was Insidious: The Last Key. Now, I have seen the first two Insidious movies, and I quite liked them. I'm a terrible person for spoilers, in the sense of I will happily read them before I go see a film, because a lot of times I'm going in with the opinion of I really like this character. If they die or something horrible happens to them, then I need to know. Like if it's like an ensemble drama, or if it's like a horror movie or a sci-fi thriller, or whatever. If I have a particular character who I've seen in the trailers, or if I've seen in interviews or whatever, and I'm like, I really like this person, I hope they make it to the end, and they don't, at least that way I can prepare myself for it. Which I know sounds an awful way to do it, but sorry, excuse me. So I haven't seen the other two, Insidious 3 and Insidious: The Last Key, but I will, no doubt, and I'd be interested to see how they move forward with this franchise, and just sort of see how it's gonna, develop. In terms of the other films that have just come out, I really wanted to see Proud Mary, because I'm a massive Taraji P. Henson fan. I think she's awesome. I think she's wonderful. And see her doing basically a Liam Neeson movie is kind of cool. So hopefully I'll be able to catch that at some point this year. Speaking of Liam Neeson, he also has a film out on that same date called The Commuter, which I like Liam Neeson movies. I watched, I've seen The Takens, I've seen, oh my god, what is that? Non-Stop, the one on the plane. I've seen Unknown, the one with Diane Kruger. I think it's awesome. He has basically become the new Bruce Willis, or the new, Jason Statham, whatever, and that's fantastic. I might see The Commuter when it comes out on like Netflix or on Amazon Prime or something. I'm not too worried about seeing this one in the cinemas, but I'm sure it's kind of passable, kind of fluff, as it were. I'd be more than happy to sort of go see that. Having a look at January, there doesn't appear to be a lot. I know that there is the new, and I think final Maze Runner movie that is coming out. I haven't seen any of them. I know a lot of the cast from various other stuff they've done, so like Dylan O'Brien from Teen Wolf, or Kaya Scodelario from Skins, or other British stuff she's done. Thomas Brody Sangster from Game of Thrones, Love Actually, Ki-Hon Lee from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Am Lamine from Sense8, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think it might have to be like the Hunger Games, where I basically came into it several years late, and watched them and got into them, because I watched the Hunger Games for the first time. Well, yeah, the first Hunger Games came out 2012. I saw it 2014 when it came on British TV. I thought it was okay, and I preferred the second film, and I just ended up watching them, and I was like, oh, that's okay, I've seen them now. But there's a very good cast for the new Maze Runner movie. Yeah, and I hope it's a satisfying end if it is the final, film in the series. Okay, moving on to February then. What we have is worth pointing out as I go through. It's either a film that I can comment on, or it's a film that I'm going to be interested to see. It doesn't mean, if there's a particular film you're interested in and I don't mention it, it's not saying I don't like it. It's entirely possible that I will kind of skip over it because I'm recording this at 1 a.m. when the house is finally quiet. And so I'm a little bit tired when I'm recording, but hopefully I should be able to get all the films that I would be interested in seeing. In February, we do have the final in the 50 Shades movies. I have not seen any of them. The only thing I can comment about is that they have had quite good soundtracks in previous years. So the first year was Lovely Like You Do, Ellie Goulding, that was the main single. Last year it was the Zayn Malik Taylor Swift duet, which I didn't reckon much to. Not last year, last film. But no, this time round it's the Rita Ora Liam Payne single. And it's quite good. It's possibly my favourite. Because it's a very catchy, solid pop song, which is kind of my 70% of my jam. So yeah, if nothing else, I'll be able to take away a good song from it. But yeah, I hope it's good. I didn't hear as much controversy about the second film in terms of the way they portrayed certain practices or portrayed certain behaviours or anything. So hopefully it's less problematic. And hopefully they've learnt again from the second film and made the third a bit more accessible to a lot of people. One film I am extremely looking forward to, though, in February is Black Panther. Now, when I say I'm a Marvel fan, I don't mean that I've gone and seen every Marvel film. I'm not saying I'm on board with every, Marvel property or anything, but if it comes down to Marvel versus DC, it is going to be Marvel. And I don't go see Marvel movies a lot. And if I do, they're usually for specific reasons. So, for example, I saw Thor Ragnarok last year, which was fantastic. It is the funniest film I've seen in a long while. And I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I saw that with my best friend and her sister-in-law, and it was wonderful. I loved it, because we'd done the same thing with the previous Thor movie. This time round, I don't know much about Black Panther, but I did see him in Civil War. I thought he was wonderful. And I am very interested to see how this film comes about. I will be supporting it. I think it's fantastic. I also think if we're going to be entirely blunt here, the idea of having an predominantly black cast in a major leading Hollywood movie is something that sadly shouldn't be lauded, because it shouldn't be so incongruous. This should be more common in a sense, but the cast here is fantastic. The action looks fantastic. I loved the trailer when it came out. We've got, aside from Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, we do have, Lupita Nyong'o, we've got Michael B. Jordan, Danai Gurira, Danu Kaluuya, Letitia Wright, who is a fantastic British actress, and it's just Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker. It's going to be amazing. I can feel it in my bones, the way that I felt the Wonder Woman movie last year was going to be amazing. So I will be very happy to go see that, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. I did a similar roundup like this for a separate project I did with one of my best friends, and we came across a movie coming out in February which looks funnier than it should be. And it's called Game Night, and I think it's a bit under the wire at the moment, but it's effectively a modern take on Clue, or kind of Cluedo, or Clue, through the eyes of like a Jason Bateman comedy. And I think it looks really funny. Like, the cast is really good as well. So you've got Jason Bateman, you've got Rachel McAdams, Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights, Jesse Plemons from Friday Night Lights, you've got Jeffrey Wright. It looks like it's going to be a very funny kind of mystery comedy action film, which ticks a lot of my boxes, and I think it's going to be, a very fun film to watch. Based off the cast and based off the premise, because it's quite a cool, unusual premise, and hopefully that means they'll be able to get some good material out of it. On that same weekend, there is also Annihilation, which I don't know a lot about it, and having tried to read into what the book's from, because it's based on the Southern Reach trilogy. I don't know what I'm expecting, and I think that's partially the point. You've got Alex Garland writing and directing, and he is the man who wrote most of Danny Boyle's movies. And he's also the guy who created Ex Machina, a film I still have not seen, but I do intend to watch. But yeah, I will be very interested in seeing this. Natalie Portman's in it, Jennifer Jason Leigh's in it, Gina Rodriguez is in it, Tessa Thompson, Oscar Isaac. Fantastic actresses who I love for various different projects and everything. So yeah, I will be intrigued to see how this develops. I don't know if I'll go see it, but I will read about it and sort of see how it's gonna play out and everything, to see if I can understand it. In March, we have a few bigger films coming out. There is the Jennifer Lawrence Russian spy movie, Red Sparrow. I will be honest, I'm not super excited to see it. I dare say it's probably going to be, an okay film, but I kind of wish Jennifer Lawrence would take some more risks. I know this is ironic coming off the back of Mother, which was easily last year's most I would say most divisive film, but then we had Star Wars The Last Jedi, both of which I enjoy. I vastly preferred Last Jedi to Mother, but they both had their, kind of positives and everything, and they were both intriguing films, so but no, Red Sparrow, it looks a bit generic, and I can't help but feel it would be much better if it was basically a Black Widow origin story. Like, if they just said, yeah, no, we're just going to make this like a secret, Black Widow film, which is apparently coming, so I'm quite happy about that. There is the Death Wish remake with Bruce Willis. I have nothing to say about that, I'm not a huge fan of the original Death Wish films, so I don't think it's going to be an especially good reboot, but who knows, I might be surprised. I am excited to see Ava DuVernay's A Wrinkle in Time, because the cast looks really good. Visuals, it looks really great. Yeah, it just looks like a fun, family-friendly movie, and it looks like they've attracted some major names for it. So you've got like Reese Witherspoon, you've got Oprah Winfrey, Mindy Kaling, my personal favourite actress at the moment, who is Gugu Mbatha-Raw. She's a British actress. She is fantastic. Chris Pine, Zach Galifianakis, Michael Pena. You've got, amazing actors. And Ava DuVernay is really, she's been fantastic for a number of years, but she's really kind of being allowed to kind of come into her own a bit, which I'm really happy about. Following that, we then have... Actually, March is looking pretty good in terms of movies. There is the Tomb Raider reboot. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. I probably will see it regardless, because Tomb Raider is probably my favourite video game series. And I do love Alicia Vikander, who is taking on the role of Lara Croft. So I think, hopefully, if they adapt elements from the 2013 reboot game, it should be pretty good. There's Love, Simon, which is this. It's a big coming of age romantic comedy dramedy about a kid struggling to come to the fact with the terms that he's struggling to come to terms with the fact that he's gay. I think this will be really good. It's based off a book. I think it's called Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which I haven't read. It is on my to-read list, but I haven't read it. And hopefully that should be good. One that I'm really looking forward to seeing, well, two actually. Two of which I'm really looking forward to seeing in March. First of which is Pacific Rim Uprising. I love Pacific Rim with all of my heart. And even though I'm a little bit sad that Guillermo del Toro isn't coming back to direct it, he is still executive producer, and we do have Stephen S. DeKnight, who has done some really good stuff. Yeah. The cast here is really good. You've got John Boyega, who is easily one of my favourite actors at the moment. I think he's fantastic. There's Jing Tian, who is this great Chinese actress. You've got Scott Eastwood, who's really becoming like his own kind of household name at the moment. And then coming back from the original film, you've got Rinko Kikuchi as my favourite character, Mako Mori, and I really hope good things happen for her, and I really hope they don't kill off Raleigh off screen. If you know who that is, then little thumbs up for you. And then they've also got Charlie Day and Burn Gone coming back as Newt and it's Newt and I want to say Ziegler. Oh, I haven't seen it in ages. I just literally know it as like, oh no, it's Gottlieb and Newton. It's Newton Herman. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the new Wes Anderson movie's coming out the same thing. I don't know how you feel about that. Go see it if you want. Not because I hate Wes Anderson or anything. He's fine. He's just not one of my must-see directors. And then on the 30th of March, we then have got Ready Player One. I really liked this book. I read it all in one day on a beach a few years ago. I really liked it. I really don't like not the sequel, the book after that, which is called Armada, and which has a similar feel, but it's just done a lot clumsier and just more. It's not great, but it's Ready Player One, the film, has Steven Spielberg directing. It's got Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cook, Mark Rylance, Simon Pegg, T.J. Miller. Some really well respected actors on there. So hopefully, it should be pretty good. Moving on, we then have in April a film I'm very interested by, called A Quiet Place, which is John Krasinski's. I think it's his. I don't think it's his directorial debut. I think he has done one other film before this, but it's with him as the lead role. He's got his real life wife Emily Blunt as like co-lead. And I love the trailer for this because it's so mysterious, and it's basically about a family forced to communicate through sign language in a barren wood because there is something out there that hunts them based on sound. And I think that's such a clever idea. It could be a Doctor Who villain, and I say that in the nicest way possible, because I think it's genius, and I'm really interested to sort of see how they run with the idea. There's been rumours that it is a potential Cloverfield movie. I don't think that'll be the case, but we will talk about Cloverfield a couple of times more during this little chat. So I don't know. Regardless, I will be very interested in sort of seeing how and what a Quiet Place is really about. After that, there's a thriller that appears to be, because I saw the trailer for this and I didn't really understand it, but Truth or Dare, which is by the people who did Happy Death Day, which was one of my favourite horror films from last year. And it's about, I believe it's about a group of teenagers or college kids who are forced, when they agree to sign up to this Truth or Dare game, they have to play Truth or Dare, but it starts taking on deadly consequences, which is like, if they don't confess to doing something horrible, then their dare will be to do something which, will probably kill them, or, that sort of thing. I don't know, I feel about this, there's various kind of people from teen kind of projects. Lucy Hale of Pretty Little Lies, you've got Tyler Posey of Teen Wolf, all kinds of actors and everything. It's Blumhouse Productions, who have had a bit of resurgence recently in the very good horror market, so hopefully this will be pretty good as well. Yeah. Following that, on the 20th of April, now this is possibly, actually not even possibly, this is definitely my most anticipated film of the year, and that is God Particle. Now, for those of you who don't know what God Particle is, it's effectively the third Cloverfield movie. Now, I am a huge fan of the Cloverfield movies. I saw the first one in cinemas in 2008. I was thrilled in 2016 when they surprise announced a sequel that's not really a sequel, but it is a sequel. And ever since then, but Paramount Pictures and Bad Robot, which is J.J. Abrams' production company, have been slowly churning out potential movies that could be Cloverfield movies. And the whole idea is that it's this anthology that may or may not all tie into this one mythology. So, God Particle is described as the story of a team of astronauts on the International Space Station who conduct an experiment and for the Earth to vanish. Now, that to me sounds genius, and I love it. So yeah, I really cannot wait to see this. The Cloverfield ARG, which is an alternate reality game, so they leave clues across the internet for people to decode and work out to gain little clues about the film and that sort of thing. It kicked off a couple of days ago, and I'm very happy about that. I'm nowhere near smart enough to do any of it, but I do like following it along and sort of seeing if I can work out where they got it from, or if I can work other things out. But yeah, the cast here is fantastic. As I've said, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, one of my favourite actors of the year, is in it. Elizabeth Debicki is in it from last year's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and she was also in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and she's awesome. You've also got Chris O'Dowd, you've got Daniel Bruhl, you've got Zhang Ziyi from House of Flying Daggers, David Oluwayo, John Ortiz. Yeah, it's a fantastic cast. It is a brilliant cast, and I cannot wait to see it. And I'm kind of at the stage where, like, even if it disappoints me, it won't really disappoint me. So yeah, hopefully that'll be good. Coming out on the same weekend is Rampage, which is Dwayne Johnson's latest action movie vehicle. Nothing wrong with that. But I believe it's about animals that become genetically modified and basically become like skyscraper size. So he has to deal with I think it's a gorilla, a wolf, and oh god, I want to say a crocodile. I don't think it's a crocodile. What is it? I know it's a wolf, an ape, and a crocodile. Oh, I was right. So it's basically like a monster movie. That also at the same time isn't really a monster movie. So, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I really enjoy. I think he really is kind of the perfect vehicle star, because I just saw the new Jumanji movie and he is hilarious in it. But then also I really enjoyed San Andreas a couple of years ago. He's really good in like the Fast and Furious movies. So he is like a surprisingly very solid actor, and so yeah, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Just have a look then. I think that's about it for April. I mean, there's a lot of films on there, but I can't think of any that have really struck me as looking forward to seeing it. Fortunately, though, the first weekend in March is doing something quite different. And that is Avengers Infinity War. Now, this is this is the superhero movie. We thought we had it big when it came to, you know, the Avengers, and when it came to kind of Captain America Civil War, but Infinity War is, I think it is basically going to blow everybody's mind. Yeah, I can't even name all the cast here. If they've been in an Avengers movie and they're not dead, they're probably in Infinity War. Yeah, I don't. I honestly don't know what else to say. It will be hugely hyped. It will be one of the biggest movies of the year, if not the biggest movie of the year. Yeah, I suppose. Well, the other thing I can think of to add is that apparently it will be the final turn. Well, if not this, then the other film coming after this, the other Avengers movie, will be the final turn of some of our most beloved characters, and so it will be a real shame to see them go. But that is the nature of superhero movies, and plus, in a superhero movie, you kill someone off, they're never usually really dead anyway, so... just having a look, see if there's anything else. On the 18th of May, Deadpool 2 is coming out. I surprisingly really enjoyed the first Deadpool. Not surprisingly in the sense of, like, it looked awful, but because I'd never really heard of the character in a wider context before, and then I watched the film and I'm like, this works really well. So yeah, hopefully that will be just as funny. We have surprisingly, a Slender Man horror movie, which, given the fact that a lot of kind of what I would call Reddit horror has become really popular recently. So, for example, there's been a fantastic show on Sci-Fi called Channel Zero, which is based on Reddit most frightening stories, which is really good. I loved the first series, and I'm waiting for the second series to come out on either DVD or online or whatever. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. So maybe the Slenderman movie will be okay. I don't know. That's coming out the same day as Deadpool 2, and the week after that it is Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, don't know how I feel about this. I've become more of a Star Wars fan as I've got older, but I don't think I'll be rushing out to see Solo, because I don't really know, apart from nostalgia, what it's gonna add to the story, really. Because don't get me wrong, I like Han Solo, I like, you know, Chewie, I like Lando, all that sort of thing. So unless it's just kind of like the prequel that explains how Han got to being Han, because that is basically what it sounded like. Unless there's something else there, then I probably won't be rushing out to see this. In June, we have one of the films I'm looking forward to the most this year, which is Ocean's 8. It is the all-female sequel slash reboot slash spin-off, I suppose spin-off's the best term for it, of the Ocean's movies, which was 11, 12 and 13. The cast here is insane. You have got Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter, Anne Hathaway, Rihanna, Sarah Paulson, Mindy Kaling, Awkwafina, Damian Lewis, Richard Armitage, all that sort of thing. It's just fantastic actors, so I am hugely looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I hope it kind of avoids all the controversy that films I really enjoyed, like Ghostbusters, or, just films where it's like, oh, you're doing a female reboot, the feminists are taking over. Just enjoy it. It's going to be fun. I promise. You will like it. Week after that, Incredibles 2. The Incredibles is my favourite Pixar movie, and so I will actually run and knock over children if I have to be in line to go see this movie, because it looks amazing. Have I only seen 15 seconds of footage? Yes, but still, it looks amazing. Yeah. What else is there? In June, there is the new Jurassic World. I am not a big fan of Jurassic World. Not for a mean reason or anything. I really enjoy the first Jurassic Park. Really enjoy the third one. The second one's okay. But Jurassic World I didn't really connect with. I just, something about the dynamic of the characters and just the way it was handled, I wasn't super into. My mum, on the other hand, loves Jurassic World. It's genuinely one of her favourite films, and so I hope that she will go see Fallen Kingdom. I hope she has a fun time. Coming out as well that month, there is a Sicario sequel that I didn't know was even happening, so fair enough. I liked the first Sicario with Emily Blunt at the helm, and hopefully, it'll be an enjoyable sequel for fans, but I will go see it. Then we move on to July, and this is really kind of summer season, so hopefully there'll be some really good films out there. 4th of July, there is the Purge, or the latest The Purge movie, which is The Island, and I presume it's effectively a battle royale, really. People killing each other on an island. I haven't seen any of the Purge movies in cinema. I only watch them when they come out on Netflix or whatever streaming service, but I'm sure it'll be fun for people. On the 6th, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I still haven't seen Ant-Man, but I really like Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, and the rest of the cast, so hopefully, again, this will be really good, and I'll be able to watch them in a little back-to-back, maybe. What else is there? We have Skyscraper coming out the 13th, which is another Dwayne Johnson vehicle. Presumably something happened on the Skyscraper. I think I've heard a bit about this one, in that it was it's based in China, I believe. I believe it's based in Shanghai or Beijing. Yeah, I don't know a massive amount of it, but it'll be a fun action thriller, no doubt, that will require Mr. Johnson to save the day. The week after, a couple of noteworthy films. The first of which is the Mamma Mia sequel, Here We Go Again. I liked the first Mamma Mia. I really like ABBA, so hopefully this will be fun, and it won't be like a cheap cash-in. Hopefully it will be quite joyous. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then also there is Alita: Battle Angel, which is coming out. This has been stuck in production hell basically for the past ever. And then all of a sudden a trailer dropped a few months ago, and I became a bit obsessed with the trailer because it is quite a gorgeous trailer. Yeah, so Robert Rodriguez of Sin City and kind of grindhouse fame, is directing it. Which I think will be quite an interesting spin for him. But James Cameron is producing it because it was his baby, and the cast looks really cool. So hopefully, it will be fun. There's been a bit of a complaint about her eyes because they look quite anime-ish deliberately, I believe. But I think it's a bit of an uncanny valley situation. But honestly, I don't. Once I've seen the trailer a few times, it's not that big of a deal. So hopefully that'll be good. And then on the 27th, we have Mission Impossible 6. I really like the Mission Impossible movies. I think they have, even though my favourite isn't one of the later ones, I think they have slowly got better and better as they've perfected the formula. So, like, my favourite one is number 3, my brother's is number 2, my dad's is number 4. Everyone has a favourite Mission Impossible. I dare say this one's going to be quite good. Just looking at it, so obviously Tom Cruise is back. Rebecca Ferguson, the kind of standout from Mission Impossible 5, is back as Ilsa Faust. Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames is back. Michelle Monaghan is back. She was Ethan's wife in the third one and made a nice little cameo at the end of 4 when everyone thought she was dead. Sorry for spoiling that. Alec Baldwin's back. Henry Cavill is in. Vanessa Kirby from The Crown is in. Shan Brook, Angela Bassett. So it is a very, very solid cast, and I will be very interested to sort of see what happens with it, because I do adore these films, and hopefully it'll be quite fun as well. Moving on then into August. There is a new Predator movie, which looks a lot of fun, directed by Shane Black, who did films such as The Nice Guys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Iron Man 3. So I will be very interested to sort of see how his take on a horror film goes. He was in the original Predator as an actor, so there's a nice little loop coming in there. So yeah, I will probably actually go see that, because I do like the Predator movies and that whole universe. What was I going to say? Yeah, sorry, my mind just drifted off then for a second. Like I said, it's now kind of about 1:30. And my brain's going a little bit, but I will endeavour to race through the rest of these films as quickly as possible. Another film that's coming out is The Spy Who Dumped Me, which looks fun. It's got Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon in it as two best friends who discover that someone's boyfriend is actually a spy. And there's like assassins and that sort of thing. So it looks to be a bit like Night and Day meets Spy, both of which are films I really like, so hopefully this will be quite fun. I really like Mila Kunis, I really like Kate McKinnon. Sam Heughan, I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, from Outlander is in, so hopefully it will be quite fun as well. There's the Barbie movie coming out on the 8th. I won't be seeing it, but I hope it gets a lot of support and everything, and apparently Anne Hathaway is in it, which, go Anne Hathaway, I like Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway's actually having a busy month. She's also in a film called Nasty Women, which I have not heard of. There's a female-centered comedy. Oh, it's a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, so that'll be interesting to see, because no one's even really mentioned this that I've been aware of. I believe they're doing also a Scarface remake that's coming out then, and also the week after they are doing Crazy Rich Asians, which is based off a very popular book, which is on my to-read list. But it's got actors in like Constance Wu from Fresh Off the Boat. There's Gemma Chan, who's a British actress. Michelle Yeoh, who is amazing. And Awkwafina, who is in the Ocean's 8 movie. There is a film called The Happy Time Murders, which is described simply as a puppet comedy thriller, which is probably worth the price of admission just for that as well. Moving on then into September. I love seeing on Wikipedia when there's like a mysterious like title to be announced of a mysterious film, because I'm always there just thinking, oh, what if it's like a really cool like surprise film? Because, you know, I think we should be surprised from time to time, as much as, you know, I love a schedule and I love knowing what's going to be coming out when. It is sometimes pretty fun to have at least a bit of surprise. On the 7th, there is a New Line horror film coming out with the to be confirmed or announced title. New Line are the people who did the Final Destination movies and were very popular in the, I would say like the 2000s, early to mid 2000s. So hopefully this will be a really good film for them. Coming out on the 20th is Johnny English 3. The first one was okay, second one was really good, and hopefully the third one will be just as funny. Rowan Atkinson and Ben Miller are back doing it, but also we have Olga Kurylenko in, and I really hope that she gets some good screen time, because I think, because she's had quite a serious roles, I think she does have potential to be quite a funny comedic actress. So yeah, hopefully that'll be quite fun. In September, in the same month, we also have the Robin Hood reboot, which there was only a few years ago. There was the Russell Crowe reboot, so this is going to be interesting. But it's Taron Egerton of the Kingsman movies who is taking on that role, with Jamie Foxx and Ben Mendelsohn and some other actors in there. So hopefully that will be quite interesting as well. Okay, heading into the last stretch of the year, October sees A Star Is Born. Now, it's been remade a bunch of times, but I'm very excited for this time around, because it's Bradley Cooper's directorial debut, but it's also the first lead turn of Lady Gaga, of whom I am a big fan. I hold no bones about it. I think she's awesome. And it's her first turn as a leading lady in a film. So hopefully she'll be very good. I think she actually is a good actress, and hopefully she will do us all proud. And apparently she's recording new music for it as well. So if nothing else, hopefully we'll get some very good Gaga music out of it. That same weekend, Venom is opening up with Tom Hardy as Venom. If you don't know who Venom is, he's basically, and I'm sorry, comic book fans, if I completely, get the character incorrect, but to the best of my knowledge, Venom is a symbiote who once attached himself to Peter Parker and made himself evil. So he's kind of like a malignant, aggressive Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of thing. So that'll be interesting to see, and Tom Hardy's always really good. So later on, because obviously it's October, it's spooky, we have the new Halloween film coming out with Jamie Lee Curtis back in the role as Laurie Strode. Hopefully this will be really good. I really like the Halloween movies, the good ones though, let's be honest. And Jamie Lee Curtis deserves a really good horror movie to come back to. Yeah, I'm just having a look. Claire Foy from The Crown is Elizabeth. I forgot her name then. Salamander? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so Claire Foy is in The Girl in the Spider's Web, which is part of the Millennium series of books. And she's played Elizabeth Scamander. Nope, that's not his name. That's not her name. Sorry about that. Because I know if I look it up, it's going to absolutely drive me mad. Elizabeth, I'm just going to call her that. And then another film I'm very excited about, and linked to God Particle, there is a movie on the 26th of August coming out called Overlord. Now, Overlord is produced again by Paramount Pictures and Bad Robot Productions. It's also rumoured to be another Cloverfield movie, which I'm potentially very excited about. So, Overlord is apparently about two American paratroopers who are dropped down behind enemy lines before D-Day and discover that supernatural forces are at play in a Nazi-occupied French village. And whether or not it's going to be used against them, or if they stumble across it accidentally, who knows. But it does sound amazing. I don't know if this is spoilers because it's only rumours, but it is rumoured to be a Nazi zombie film, which I'm not against. I'm open. I'm ready for, something dark and spooky. White Russell's in it, Jovan Adepo's in it, Jacob Anderson from Game of Thrones, Palau Asbeck from Game of Thrones, Ian Castecker from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in it. So yeah, I'm hugely looking forward to it. I think even if it's not a Cloverfield movie, I will be more than happy to see it and just watch it as a horror piece. And hopefully it'll be really good. November, we have the latest X-Men movie. I kind of did think they were done with the X-Men, although we're going to give them a bit of time, but they are having another crack at the Dark Phoenix saga, which is, I think it is the most famous kind of storyline in all of comic books. So we have a lot of the returning cast from the various kind of stream of X-Men movies. So James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Sophie Turner, who is, the Dark Phoenix, spoiler alert, and Jessica Chastain is in it for the first time. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty good. I like the spin on it, and I think rather than, because what effectively tried to happen, for those of you who don't know, was that the third X-Men film basically tried to do Dark Phoenix but in the middle of a whole different plot. So it basically was like the mutant cure thing, but with Dark Phoenix running in it, so neither story had time to develop and kind of get full focus, which was a real shame. But hopefully this will be really good. That same weekend we have The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, which is looking to be kind of just a really fun Disney film with Keira Knightley and Miranda Hart and Jack Whitehall and Morgan Freeman and Helen Mirren, and one of my favourite ballerinas, Misty Copeland. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a really fun, frothy family film, perfect for Christmas. And what else is coming out? Benedict Cumberbatch is in the new Grinch. I have nothing really to say about that because I think it's just animation, so he'll just be voicing it. But I'm sure, that'll be fine. Untitled Paramount movies coming out on the same weekend as The Nutcracker and X-Men. The weekend after that, as we mentioned, the Grinch. There's also the comedy remake of Holmes and Watson, which is basically repairing Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, who were previously together in, I believe, Step Brothers, which is a film that I didn't like and then watched more and did like, to my complete surprise. So hopefully the Holmes and Watson thing will be, it'll be alright, On the 16th we have the two films that come out on the 16th, both look quite good. There is The Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, which is the sequel to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. There has been a lot of discussion about whether or not it's alright to see it in light of Johnny Depp's involvement in the film. I don't think you should be judged either way. If you really want to go see it, then that's fine. But then equally, don't. I wouldn't attack people who don't want to go see it, and vice versa. Really, if you don't want to go see it for those reasons or any other reasons, that's perfectly valid. But then people who do want to see it to support J.K. Rowling or see, the story, that's fine as well. It's up to everybody to kind of decide how they want to go about with that. That same weekend we also have Widows, written by and directed by Steve McQueen, who did Shame and 12 Years a Slave, about 4 women whose husbands were bank robbers and killed in an attempt to steal the money. The widows then decide to complete the job, which I think is an awesome premise for a film. I'll be very excited to see that. The cast is fantastic as well. So you've got Viola Davis, Cynthia Erivo, Andre Holland, Elizabeth Debicki, Michelle Rodriguez, Daniel Kaluuya, Liam Neeson, Colin Farrell, Robert Duvall, Carrie Coon. All these fantastic actors. So hopefully that is going to be one of the big, kind of tentpole movies to come out. Following that, we also then have, there's a bit of a break over Thanksgiving. But then again, more films might appear, we don't know. So the end of November is dominated by Creed 2, which has Sylvester Stallone and Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson in from the first Creed movie. We have the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph 2 called Ralph Breaks the Internet. I really liked Wreck-It Ralph. It was surprisingly touching, and I thought it was quite sweet. All the characters are back for that, including new additions in the form of Taraji P. Henson, who I've already expressed my dear love for, and who I think is pretty awesome. Looking at December now, I've discussed this with some friends of mine, and it is possibly the weirdest film that is on the entire roster for 2018 so far, and it's a film called Mortal Engines, produced and written by Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh, about cities that have become sentient, and it's about it's sort of a Mad Max style world where cities eat towns for sustenance, and it's honestly the most bonkers thing you've ever heard of. But hopefully it'll be interesting. Week after that we have Aquaman, which will be Jason Momoa's first solo turn in the DCEU universe. He previously popped up in Justice League, which was better than I thought it was going to be. It was very uneven, but it is fun. It is fun, I will say. So hopefully he will have fun doing that, and hopefully it'll be a step in the right direction for the DC Extended Universe. Bumblebee the movie, which I'm really surprised is still happening, but yep, it is about Bumblebee the Transformer, who is getting his own film. We have Haley Steinfeld in it, John Cena, and some other actors who I'm not really aware of at the moment, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure the timing of it is perfect. It's a few days before Christmas, which means all of the, sound very cynical, but the purchasing rights and kind of merchandise and everything is kind of spot on. And then on the 25th of December, 2 massive films coming out. We have Mary Poppins Returns, which is the, I won't say long awaited, but the decades in the waiting sequel for Mary Poppins. This time around it has Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins. We have Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton and Moana fame, Ben Whishaw and Emily Mortimer as the grown-up children. And then we have some British royalty in terms of Julie Walters, Colin Firth and Meryl Streep all appearing in it as well. And then finally it's Bohemian Rhapsody, which is the story. It's like a biopic about the late, great, wonderful Freddie Mercury, with Rami Malek signed up to play him, and it is a perfect choice because he does, when you see the photos, he does look surprisingly a lot like him. So hopefully that will be quite fun as well. And obviously there'll be more films coming out closer to the time as well. So then, my loves, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully my increasingly croaky voice hasn't put you off too much. What I will say is I am endeavouring to get this up as soon as possible, so hopefully you are hearing this before all of those reviews become kind of pointless. In terms of 2018, like I said, I am hoping to do more once my master's thesis is out of the way. And that means I can free up more space in my brain for creating like role plays or ideas or kind of scripts or whatever the case may be. I do have a series coming up, partially related to something I've talked about in, kind of wholly inspired by something I've talked about in this chat, and it is basically a series of Cloverfield role plays. I have recorded the first one, and they're going to be focused on a different film each, and we'll talk about kind of a different experience or kind of relate to the film in some way. So yeah, hopefully you will enjoy these if you're fans of the film, or if you're just looking forward to something to relax to. Aside from that, I'm aware I've still got the rest of the Tingleville storyline to wrap up. It is part of a planned 12-part series. They are by and large actually mapped out. It's just taking time to actually write the final scripts, work out where the story's going, and then just recording it, and adding the necessary details. So hopefully that'll be, if not a mid-year project, it'll be an end-year project, and I'll be able to get those out fairly regularly. In terms of other stuff, it'll be tags, it'll be role plays, it'll be various kind of odds and ends, when I am able to, because I'm still juggling full-time work and my masters and other projects. So yeah, hopefully you guys will forgive me if I'm not able to have a proper 3 videos a week schedule, or even 3 videos a year sometimes for me. But yeah, thank you so much for your support, all the the lovely comments that have been left or have been sent. They really do mean a lot, even for a tiny little ASMR artist like me. They really do mean the world, in fact more. So yeah, that is about it. Hopefully, if you're not asleep already, then you're about on the verge, so please look after yourselves. 2018 is going to be a long year for everybody, but hopefully all the dust has settled from 2017, and it's going to be a wonderful year for all of us. So I wish you a very wonderful 2018. I wish you joy and peace and happiness and love and all the wonderful things that you so deserve. And finally, I wish you a very good